There are a lot of art and surface pattern design courses out there, and some of them are thousands of dollars. Before you invest in one of these courses, I want to spill some secrets to help you make an informed decision. This video isn't some sort of scandalous takedown. It's simply meant to provide some additional information from a perspective of someone who's been working in the surface pattern industry for 20 plus years and has been a course creator for over 5 years. So I tend to keep it positive around here because truly anything is possible. And for every rule you hear from me or any other expert, you can find an example of someone who has successfully broken it. I hear so much contradicting advice in the surface pattern industry. And it's not that people are giving bad advice. It's that from their experiences, they've managed to make something work that has never once worked for me, or vice versa. In fact, I have a video with Liz Kohler Brown where we break down some common advice in the surface pattern industry that you should definitely check out because we give two different perspectives on stuff that you have heard contrasting advice on. Anyways, today I want to do what I do best and share my own experiences and experiences that I have seen many students have, which tend to be a little more grounded. So, the first thing you should know before investing in an expensive course in surface pattern design or art is results are not typical. Marketing relies on sharing the best and most engaging examples of your product, doing what it promises to do. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with highlighting student success stories. I do it. If you have student success stories, you should do it. But it's important to understand that while 10, 20, 50 students may have had incredible success with a course, there could also be 20, 50, or even thousands of students who learned some cool things, but were never able to propel their career to the next level. Now, this isn't to say that a course isn't good. I personally strongly stand by my own signature course called Start Your Surface Pattern Business. And I know there are students who haven't built what they hope to build with my guidance. Lots who have, but some who just haven't, and that's okay. What this secret is meant to highlight is that results vary. It depends on student input, learning style, art style, and the industry itself, which you cannot really affect no matter how hard you work. So it can be inspiring to imagine yourself having a licensing deal or wholesale clients or a freelance roster in 6 months or a year, like students in testimonials. But remember, it is not a guarantee. The next secret I want to share with you is an art licensing deal may pay less than a grocery store run. In the art for products world, a lot is made of art licensing. And I get it because it can be a really nice income source. But in most cases, it takes dozens of licensing deals to start accumulating real income. So when you hear stories of signing a deal before a class ends, and again, I highlight these stories too, this is something that is a great accomplishment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the royalties from that deal would even cover the cost of the course itself. Some licensing deals may pay $10,000, but some may pay $10. You heard me right, $10. It is wild, but it is true. I've heard a whole range of amounts coming through for licensing deals, royalties or flat fees, and it's hard for me to put an average on how much money I make from my licensing deals because some of them have gone out through over years and new products have been added in and I get paid quarterly. So like the math is kind of tricky, but I would say like honestly, my average is probably around $400 to $700 for a licensing deal. So one licensing deal might be $200. Another one might be $2,000. But the reality is one deal is not going to set you up for the whole year. All right, next secret you need to know before investing in a course. Building a sustainable career is rarely done in 5 hours a week and 6 months. Look, this goes back to results aren't typical. There are exceptions to every rule, and I'm sure there are some talented and lucky artists who have created a full-time income by devoting only a few hours a week to their business. And they've done it in, less than a year. But that is not often the case. And even in those magical scenarios, it's often really hard to sustain that type of income success for multiple years. Keeping clients, securing licensing deals, creating sought after artwork that sells like hotcakes on print on demand sites, that all takes time, dedication, and consistency. This isn't to discourage you from spending your free 5 hours working on building something great. And it's also not to encourage you to quit your job and spend 40 hours a week working on this project. It's really more just to let you know that you shouldn't be impatient with your progress or feel like you're a failure if you find that you aren't the exception to the rule. That's also to let you know not to expect to sign up for a course and then fully make a whole new income stream, a whole new life by the end of the year. Okay. If you're looking for fast money, this is not the place to look. Unfortunately, this business takes time to build. I tell all my students 3 to 4 years is an average amount of time that it might take to build up a full-time income in the art for products or surface pattern design world. All right, next secret. You don't need to know a specific program to succeed. I cannot say this enough. I answer this question all the time. I have the videos out there about Adobe Illustrator specifically. This question comes into me all the time. Adobe Illustrator is great, and it happens to be my personal favorite program. And it is definitely used a lot throughout this industry. But it is not a requirement for creating art for product at all. I've looked at portfolios of talented painters who've tried to reinvent themselves as repeating pattern vector artists. And I'm left wondering, why wouldn't they stick with painting and pitch that art? And when I ask those kind of questions, I get to the bottom of it. They've been told that Fabric and Adobe Illustrator are their main options when it comes to art on products. And that's simply not true. If you are an analog artist, a collage artist, a painter, all those type of things, you can find opportunities without trying to fully reinvent your style so that it fits into the Adobe Illustrator world. That brings me to my next point, which is hand-done art is in demand. Look, there was a time when Adobe Illustrator was brand new back in the 2010s. I mean, it wasn't brand new. Adobe Illustrator has been around forever. Let's make that clear. But I would say 2008 through 2013 or so, when there was a lot of pattern design and a lot of product design that was very vectory. Okay, but that time has passed. Some of the most successful licensing artists I know hand paint their work. If you need some inspiration, take a look at the very successful Angela Stalling, who I'm hoping to interview soon for my channel. She hand paints all her work and has had a 20-year licensing career. Nicole Tamarin is another friend of mine who I've featured on this channel, who is a watercolor artist, okay? And her art is all hand painted and then assembled digitally. Now, let me give you a caveat. If you're a talented analog artist, you will need to be able to digitize your work to some degree. In 2025, it is much easier to show off your work online after scanning a painting than to try mailing a canvas to a prospective client. So, at a minimum, I do recommend understanding how to effectively scan your work and make tiny color and cropping edits to make it shine. And in the case of someone like Nicole Tamron, she does so much work on Photoshop to mix and match her pieces, and she paints individual motifs and scans them in and assembles them in Photoshop. So that's taking it to another level. That's a skill set that you could eventually get to. But at the very least, if you're a hand painter, being able to scan your work and make sure the colors look true to what your original intent were is a great skill to have. What do you think about these secrets? This is absolutely no shade to any course that may embody some or all of these points, because, like I said, for every rule, someone has broken it. For all my advice, I've heard opposite advice from someone else's personal experience where they've had success and they've had art directors tell them the direct opposite of what I've had other art directors tell me and what I've had success with. So, it's not to say that the advice in any of these courses is bad advice. These are just points to help you make educated decisions on what you need to get started in a creative business. And certainly, a course could be an incredible leg up, but it could also steer you in the wrong direction if you already have a certain skill set. I have a really great in-depth video called How to Get Started in Surface Pattern Design, where I outline steps for getting started with an art career that you should consider before taking an expensive course. I will link it below, but it's going to give you some more information, some steps to take to help you make the right choices for you so you don't feel like, if I don't take this, $1,000 course, I can't possibly succeed in this industry. It will give you more information that will help you make educated buying decisions. So I hope that helps. If you want to learn more about me and the courses I offer, now that I've given away all my secrets, you can go to elizabethsilver.com/learn and see what I offer and how it may be a good option for you to help get you where you're going.
Ready to turn your passion for surface pattern design into profit? Discover the secrets to creating irresistible and marketable design collections with my course, Successful Licensing Collections. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned designer, unlock the blueprint to building a portfolio that sells, filled with expert advice on finding on-trend themes, choosing incredible palettes, and critiquing your own work to make it swoon-worthy to art directors. Click the link in the description to enroll now and take your designs to the next level.